came into this shit with my eyes out. And they still are.
Welcome to the DY Prize channel. I am your guy, DY Fly. What it do? Now, initially, I was supposed to react to the AJ Brown trade rumors about 2 weeks ago. But the spirit of procrastination got a hold of your boy. You know, someone look at your neighbor and say, the devil got a hold of him, y'all.
Yeah.
Right? And then, last week, Broads did a video talking to the AJ Brown people and asking if he's missing something. You know, I like listening to Broads. AJ Brown is fucking up the Philadelphia Eagles. Get him off my team. Yeah, shout out to Broads. But he touched upon a couple points that I wanted to highlight, but I just didn't get around to it, man. It was a 30-minute video, so I really have to sit down and break it down. But, you know, I was busy. And then Lord Brunson drops a video a couple days ago saying that he got some information pertaining to the AJ Brown situation. Shout out to LB. And we'll talk about that in a few, but just stick with me, okay? But during my free time, I've been reading this book that you see on the screen, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class by Steve Siebold. You know, it's a good read. Your boy's trying to level up his mind game, you know, trying to take over the world like Pinky and the Brain, you know. But I got to a chapter, and as I was reading it, AJ Brown, he came up into my mind along with another player. And I kind of chuckled to myself. And then I got to another chapter, and those two individuals popped up again. And then I thought to myself, maybe I should do a video on this. And then I got to another chapter, and that kind of solidified it for me. So I'm sharing this with you guys. You know, what I do in my free time kind of intersected with my with the Eagles content. So here it is. And the point of this video is to come to a conclusion on whether or not we should trade one AJ Brown. So let's take a look here. You see chapter 12. It says, champions know adversity is the catalyst of mental toughness. Champions believe if you remove the adversity, you remove the victory. As a result, they tend to view adversity as a challenge through which learning and growing occurs. Their worldview is evident in the way they describe the adversities they face. While average people choose the path of least resistance, world-class performers operate at a higher level of awareness. They understand that stress and struggle are key factors in becoming mentally tough. Skipping ahead, adversity to average people equals pain. Adversity to world-class performers is their mental training ground. It's how they become mentally tough. Average people scorn adversity. Those who are world-class don't welcome adversity, yet they see it as an ultimate catalyst for mental growth, as well as the contrast needed to recognize the beauty of life. Now, before AJ Brown popped into my head, there was a player on the Philadelphia Eagles that popped into my head, and you know who that is. Jalen Hitman Hurts.
The excellence of execution.
What?
This is what greatness looks like.
If this doesn't describe Jalen Hurts to a T, I don't know what does. And if this isn't the exact opposite of AJ Brown, I don't know what is. You know? And, you know, I don't want to make this video to be a Jalen versus AJ type video, but I think it's probably going to turn out to be like that. But just remember the point. The point is, we're getting to the bottom line on whether or not we should trade AJ Brown. And we're getting there. Just stick with me. Coming down to chapter 13. The great ones do it all with class. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
True champions have class, and they consistently conduct themselves in a manner congruent with their self-image. While amateur performers publicly gloat in their victories and agonize in their defeats, professional performers tend to keep a low profile during times of great success and during times of failure. Another hallmark of the great ones is their humility after triumph. They tend to project themselves in the same manner whether they are losing or winning. Who are we talking about, y'all?
It's my quarterback.
My goodness. When they win, they love to share the credit with the team. And when they lose, they assume 100% responsibility. This high-class approach to performance opens doors which propel champions to even greater success. The great ones like to associate and do business with people who know how to handle themselves, especially in adverse situations under pressure. Oh my goodness. This is one of the primary distinctions between the upper class and the world class. The ego-driven upper class must win at any cost. The spirit-driven world class insists on following strict roads of ethics. The great ones have the character to do what's right, and they will do it all with class. Now, again, I don't want to make this an AJ versus Jalen video, but can you see how, if you're an Eagles fan, if I'm reading this, I'm just minding my business, trying to work on myself, but I know what's going on with the Eagles. AJ and Jalen both pop up into my mind while I'm reading this, okay? And it applies. It applies. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to get to some conclusions. Hold on. Chapter 18. The world class is ferociously cooperative. Professional performers are the most cooperative people in the world because they know it takes a team to achieve anything worthwhile. Their cooperation stems from their desire to win. They know they cannot do it alone. Amateurs tend to be more ego involved and prefer to act as lone wolves so they can boast they are self-made. Champions don't need to take all the credit and, as a rule, enjoy sharing the accolades with their team. Champions believe the whole is greater than the sum of the parts when it comes to achievement. These people have a tremendous ability to persuade others to join forces with them and work in a spirit of ferocious cooperation. Achievement has less to do with stroking their egos and more to do with personal growth and development. Oh. And not just their own, but also that of the team. Champions get as big a kick from watching a team member grow in the process of achieving the goal as they do in actually achieving the goal. They realize the true value of achievement is the catalyst for growth. Generally speaking, the more cooperative the champion, the more successful they tend to be. The great individual is no match for the great team. Oh my goodness. That kind of applies when we went on our championship run. We had to recalibrate some things and say, okay, we're going to lean on the offensive line and we're going to lean on 2K say Saquon Barkley. I still can't believe y'all let us get Saquon Barkley.
Eagles got Saquon Barkley.
Yeah! They squabbling out there now. Yeah!
That's right. Jalen was fine with that. All right. But some people weren't, you know? Some people were reading a book on the sideline. All right. But we're not going to make any judgments just yet. Not just yet. We haven't come to a conclusion. We're just trying to flesh things out. All right. Now, this last chapter sealed it for me. This is what made me want to do this video. And we're going to wrap it up like this. Champions evolve from competing to creating. Chapter 21. Average performers live their lives in first gear, resisting change and avoiding risk. The masses have the same talent and opportunity as the world class, yet choose to play it safe to avoid the pain of failure and the agony of temporary defeat. At Mental Toughness University, we have a scale called the 5 levels of mental toughness, which is a tool to help determine at what level they're performing. The first level is called playing not to lose, which is doing just enough to avoid getting fired. The next level up is playing to cruise, which is mentally cruising through the job without really engaging in any serious thought. I know a couple people like that. The next level is playing to improve, which is when performers begin to actively engage their thoughts and feelings in the task at hand, attempting to be better. Okay? The level above this is playing to compete. Now pay attention. Which is when performers begin to believe they are capable of beating out their competition and being the best. This level is primarily ego-driven, where winning is the main objective. Performers operating at this level often become very successful and powerful, but sometimes left with a hollow feeling of, is this all there is?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar? Take a look at your screen. Does that sound familiar? Does this post resonate with anybody? I'm going to read a couple lines. After a few days, I've had time to reflect on being a champion. I tried to feel how everyone made it seem to be a champion, and unfortunately it was short-lived. 2 days to be exact, LOL. I've never been a champion at the highest level, but I thought my hard work would be justified by winning it all. It wasn't. The rest of the post is ego-driven. Y'all, do you not hear me? My thrill for this game comes from when I dominate. It's the hunt that does it for me. It's when the DB drops his head, blah, blah, blah. You know the rest. All right, let's continue. The highest level is playing to win, which occurs when the performer moves from competition to creation, where the primary goal is to be the best they can be. Knowing that creativity and fear cannot coexist, these people are only competing with themselves and the objective of being better today than they were yesterday. Oh my goodness. The plan to win philosophy is rooted in a spirit-based consciousness operating from thoughts of love and abundance. Fear and scarcity have no place at this level of thinking. These performers are fiercely seeking what Dr. Abraham Maslow referred to as the self-actualization, or becoming all that one has the potential to become. The most powerful belief performers operating at this level possess is that they cannot fail. They can only learn and grow. Oh my goodness. With their potential in front of them and their fear behind them, champions are able to move beyond the boundaries of competition and create the masses believe is impossible. Oh my goodness. Who are we talking about? Jalen, Hitman, Hurts.
The excellence of execution.
Huh?
This is what greatness looks like.
Y'all, after reading this, I came to the conclusion, with all the evidence piled up after the last 3 years, is yes, we do need to trade AJ Brown. It will be addition by subtraction, okay? Sometimes, I don't know if y'all have ever worked with anybody, all they do is complain. They just complain and it messes up the flow, it messes up the energy, you know? And then you thinking to yourself, bro, why don't you just quit? If it's so bad, why don't you just quit? So I do think we need to trade AJ Brown. The team knows it. Howie knows it. Nick definitely knows it. That's why he ran down the sideline, you know, got in AJ Brown's face. But I want to say this about Nick. It's his fault. It's his fault that it got this bad. It's just like when you're disciplining a kid, right? And you look at your kid, they're about to write on the wall with a marker, right? And you don't want to put a Timberland boot in their ass, but you show them that there is a Timberland boot to go in their ass just in case they write on the wall, okay? But he let AJ Brown do whatever he wanted up until this point, and it got so bad to where Nick, he tried to reclaim the power, but it was too late. It was too late. You already let him run roughshod. You can't be mad at him now in the heat of a battle. So, yeah, I think we should trade AJ Brown. AJ Brown would be happier somewhere else, okay? And for the people that are saying, oh, AJ Brown ain't going nowhere. Listen, nobody in their right mind wants to trade AJ Brown. The only reason why anybody is suggesting we should trade AJ Brown is because of how he's been conducting himself. That's the only reason. Nobody would even bring this up, at least until next year, that we should trade AJ Brown. But the way he's been acting, he seems like he wants to, he doesn't seem like he wants to be here. All right. So we don't want hostages. We want volunteers. Shout out to the great Mike Tomlin. Hold up.
I said what I said.
That's right. And for the people that say that, you know, we can't trade him because of the salary cap or whatever, listen, let me tell you guys a little secret, okay? The salary cap is not real. It's not real. And Howie Roseman knows this, okay? Howie, do you have anything to say for yourself? Hold up.
Who put this thing together? Me. That's who.
Howie Roseman knows that the salary cap is not real. It's like taxes, okay? The salary cap is just a soft number for GMs to work around, and Howie has figured out how to work around it the best. Now, he hasn't exposed himself, and Howie, if this comes to your desk, I hope you're listening, all right? Howie Roseman has not exposed himself by showing the rest of the league that the salary cap isn't real. Not yet, okay? And don't do it just yet. You have to do it when we are on the verge. When we want to, you know, come off the top rope like Macho Man in WrestleMania 8 That's when you show the league that the salary cap ain't real. When we get a Myles Garrett level player when he is 24 and people are like, how did the Eagles make this move? That's when Howie Roseman should show his ass and put all the cards on his table face up. And let me tell you why Howie shouldn't do it just yet. It's because they're going to try to change the rules during the offseason, just like they tried to do with the tush push, because we've been whooping their ass. They're going to try to change the rules to make it fair and balanced for everybody. So Howie, don't do it just yet. Wait until there's a player, until the team is in place, so we can really hit him with the overhand right, one of them Riddick Bowe joints, all right? Howie knows that the salary cap ain't real, y'all. You know, it's just like taxes. You need to find a workaround to, you know, you don't pay that much. You don't pay that much, if anything, when you know the right people. For the people who were going against Lord Brunson, I saw his video. I was going to play a clip, but it looks like, I don't know if he took it down or whatnot, but I saw the video, and in the midst of the video, people were going against his source of information saying, you know, that it wasn't true. Now, if you've been following LB, you know that he's one of the main people that's been saying he doesn't want to trade A.J. Brown, and he doesn't think we're going to trade A.J. Brown. So why would he go out here and make a video saying that, you know, someone told him that A.J. Brown said that he wants to be traded? It doesn't make sense. Why would he do a complete 180 if he didn't feel like it was true? For the people saying, oh, if you can't name the source, then, you know, I don't believe. Man,
Shut the fuck
Shut your raggedy ass up and sit the fuck down.
listen, why would he tell you the source? That's how you keep the source the source. You don't give up the source. LB just did what he's been doing for the past however many years he's been on YouTube, trying to give people the good word, trying to give people info. You know, he's not going to get up here and start spewing nonsense if he didn't think it was true. All right, so LB, hold your head. You know, you ain't got to do a whole bunch of explaining. You try to give people a fair warning, you know, and it is what it is. Keep doing your thing. And AJ Brown, he you know, I think we should give him what he wants. We should trade him, but I think lessons need to be learned. All right, we cannot trade him to the Patriots. We cannot trade him to the Bills. That is too good of a situation. We need to send his ass to Cleveland. All right, not Cincinnati, not Miami, not the Jets. All those, not Las Vegas. All those situations are too good. Not New Orleans. None of those teams. All those situations are too good. Send him to Cleveland so he can realize that the grass is not always greener. Okay? He's on a championship team that's in the mix every single year, and yet he wants to act up because he's not getting the ball as much. But A.J. Brown, he's a great player, you know, so you just got to let him go be great in Cleveland. But y'all don't find it weird that the Kingslayer Cooper DeJean was like A.J. Brown's best friend for like 3.5 weeks? You know? Y'all didn't see that shot on the sideline where Cooper DeJean, he's just in his own world, walking down the sideline, and then A.J. Brown's just hanging out by himself. You know, Cooper DeJean looks up, and he's like, oh, shit, man. He ain't got no more friends other than me, dang. But, you know, Coop, he trying to be cool. You know, he daps him up. Y'all don't find it weird that Coop was his best and only friend for like, you know, a couple weeks? You know? Shout out to the Kingslayer, Cooper DeJean.
Kingslayer!
The Kingslayer!
You know, this whole situation has taught me a lot about people. You know? It's taught me a lot about people. And one, they either take a lot of disrespect in their relationships and they're just so disillusioned and they're so used to people disrespect them in their relationships that they just eat it. Or two, they've never really had a badass chick with a stank-ass attitude. You know? I'm talking about 10. 10 out of 10. As beautiful as she is on the outside, she's just as stankin' and ugly as she is on the inside. I'm talking about that. Like, it's hard to let her go because she looks so good. That's how bad she is. You don't know if you're going to get another one of these, so you try to hold on for dear life, but yet she, you know, she calling you all sorts of bitches. You know, she calling your mama a hoe. She jumping on the couch with mud on her shoes, disrespecting your furniture, breaking dishes, all sorts of nonsense. But, you know, you try to justify it. Man, she just going through a couple things, you know. Nah, you don't need to worry. Nah, she cool, man. You know, she just going through it right now. Man, Forget all that. All right? Get rid of her. You need to get rid of her, show the door, and let her spread her wings and find out how hot the sun is. All right? That's what needs to happen. Plus, my mindset is I can get another one. In fact, I already have another one. Shout out to Devontasmith, the Slim Reaper.
Your angel of death awaits.
That's right. And on top of that, I can get another one. How about that?
Simple Simon ass motherfuckers.
You know? And the last thing I'll say, there's a couple things, but even Seth Joyner, the OG, he was trying to give us some game. Like, listen, I've been down this road. You don't have to go down this road. I've been down this road. This is not what you want to do. And there was backlash after that. You know, a lot of older people, they might not be able to tell you everything that you should do because, you know, everybody's wearing different shoes, you know, and it's different times. But they can tell you what not to do, especially when they have your best interests at heart, you know. And Seth Joyner, he is an Eagle for life, period, point blank. That's the bottom line. And he wanted to see the best for his team. And AJ is on the team, and he lived it. He lived that, you know, being a malcontent on the team, it doesn't do any good for the team. So he tried to give him some advice, and he, you know, that even that got backlash. But it is what it is. Even the people that say, you know, for the people that's saying, oh, AJ ain't going nowhere. Look, I can't talk to you. Apparently, you haven't been paying attention for the past 3 years. And this isn't, you know, trying to trash AJ or nothing. You know, I'm not going to kick him. I'm not going to trash him. He's been a great team. You know, he was great while he was here, you know. But I'm going to tell him, like he told us, thanks for the ring, but it's time to move on. You know, it's time to move on. And it is what it is. I don't know what we're going to get, but we're trading him. We're definitely trading him. Why do you think a fictional trade package came out? A Quentin Williams type deal came out. That's because we're thinking about it.
Simple Simon ass motherfuckers.
You know, that's because we're thinking about it. But, you know, I've been reading this book. I just wanted to show you all the difference between, you know, AJ Brown. We're going to push this button for the last time before he gets traded. Hold on. And one, Jalen Hitman Hurts.
The excellence of execution.
What?
So let me go on record as saying, I am a man's man. I am a champion of champions. Do you people understand? Do you understand? This is what greatness looks like. Take a good look at it. Look at it. Look at it.
That's right. But that's all I got. We're going to sit back and watch Howie do his thing. We're going to see what happens with this AJ thing. We're going to see what happens in the draft and free agency and all that. So, you know, we'll see.